Welcome to a new episode of Ain't Got Time to Read, the place where I read a story, give you a breakdown of the plot, and simply save you time. Now, before we continue, here is your spoiler alert. If you have not read the story I'm about to discuss and you do plan to read it, then you may want to avoid this video or watch it at a later date. So that being said, let's dig into the plot of today's story. The story starts with Thanos standing over the Infinity Well. He is brought to Lady Death and questioned about his current circumstance, as he should be bringing death to half of the universe's population for Lady Death. After seeking knowledge in the Infinity Well, he has found a way to achieve this mission. Thanos asks for permission from Lady Death to go in search of the 6 soul gems that will grant him the power to kill half of the population of the universe. She allows him to pursue the gems. Thanos visits the In-Betweener first, who has been imprisoned. Thanos tricks the In-Betweener into thinking that Thanos no longer follows Lady Death. They both work together to break the In-Betweener out of his prison. Once they have succeeded, Thanos turns on the In-Betweener and takes his soul gem. He leaves the In-Betweener behind, knowing that Chaos and Order would be aware that he escaped and punish him for escaping. Thanos travels to the planet Tamarata, where the Champion lives and has the 2nd soul gem. Thanos challenges the Champion to a battle, and they both begin fighting. Thanos blasts him with as much power as possible at first, and tricks the Champion into letting his defences down. This enrages the Champion, as he feels like it is a cheap shot. In his rage, he attacks Thanos but cannot penetrate his force field. In a last-ditch attempt, the Champion dives into the air with the intention of hitting Thanos with all of his power. However, Thanos teleports back to his craft, causing the Champion to miss and hit the planet. The impact causes a chain reaction and completely destroys the planet. Thanos approaches the Champion, who is now floating in space. Thanos points out that as the Champion is immortal, it will be a cruel punishment for the Champion to float in space for thousands of years. Thanos makes a deal with him, and the Champion hands over the soul gem as payment to be dropped off to the next planet. Thanos keeps his word but cruelly lets him fall down to the planet. Now holding 2 soul gems, he decides that they should be called Infinity Gems. Next, he visits the Gardener on his planet. The Gardener knows that Thanos wants his Infinity Gem. He refuses to hand it over without a fight. Thanos tells the Gardener that he does not wish to fight him. The Gardener ignores him and tries to wrap Thanos up in tree roots. Thanos breaks the roots with ease and uses his power gem to boost the power of the time gem that the Gardener has used. As it is more power than the Gardener is used to controlling, his roots grow uncontrollably from within him. Thanos takes the Time Stone. Thanos contacts the Collector, who was one of the Infinity Gems. He makes a deal with the Collector to trade the Infinity Gem with something that the Collector would consider to be of higher value. Thanos then travels to a certain point in space and waits for the next target. Thanos is attacked by the Alder known as the Runner, who is a being that can travel faster than light. Thanos' transportation is destroyed, and the Runner questions what Thanos knows about the Infinity Gems. Thanos explains that there was once an ethereal being that could be considered God that was lonely. He destroyed himself, creating the universe, and his power created the 6 gems. Using the Time Gem, Thanos causes the Runner to age to the point where he can barely move. Once he takes the Space Gem from the Runner, he uses the Time Gem to turn him into a baby. Thanos takes the baby Alder to the Collector, who is happy to trade the Alder for the Reality Gem. As Thanos leaves, the Time Gem wears off and the Runner returns back to his normal age. The Alder is not impressed that the Collector planned on keeping him as part of his collection and beats the Collector to a bloody pulp. The Grand Master has the final gem and challenges Thanos to a game of his choice. Thanos accepts and should have won, but the Grand Master cheats. Believing that he has killed Thanos, he realises that he has been tricked. Thanos used the Reality Gem to convince the Grand Master that his tricks had worked on Thanos. Thanos kills the Grand Master and takes the Mind Gem. Now that he has all 6 Infinity Gems, he can show his true power. He returns to Mistress Death and shows her his power. He expresses that he wishes to sit by her side as her equal. She creates a chair for Thanos beside her. He takes his seat, but Mistress Death points out that she is not his equal, as he now has all the power which makes her inferior to him. Thanos is upset about this and can't believe he made such a miscalculation. He leaves the chamber with his 6 gems and ponders his next move. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you with the next video.